from Seoul, Korea. Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to another day of World of Tanks here at GOMTV. Tanktosis is back.
That's right. Tanktosis.
Tanktosis is back. How you doing, man?
Well, I just rolled in, and it's time to cast some World of Tanks.
Yeah, we've had some great games this season so far. The Koreans have been improving at a very rapid pace here.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot more aggressive games early on here. Actually, we're in the new year now. But last year, at the beginning of the year, we had a lot more defensive, turtling play. Things have really changed now. We're seeing the Korean players really able to get in there, do the damage they need to do, and end the matches very quickly. It's made for some really exciting games.
It certainly has, and I think it's going to continue that way, Tasis.
Yeah.
We're going to be boiling this down very, very soon to just the top four. And the top four in Korea is actually quite good, and they have nice matches against each other.
And I think today's matches are actually going to be a lot better than even the ones we've had so far because the teams are so good here today. Again, World of Tanks, pretty new in Korea when you compare it to, for instance, how big it's been in Russia or North America. So we all know that when you give Koreans a game and give them enough time, they do eventually become the best at it, whether that's StarCraft or Warcraft 3, or like we saw with Infiltration with Street Fighter 4. They tend to dominate. And
basically anything.
Yeah,
League of
basically
Legends,
anything.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
They're just...
I don't know how I left out League there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you look at that, I am really curious when they get to the world front, how well are these guys going to perform?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I believe the World Championships is in March or so, right
I think it's
around
either
there.
late February or early March, unless it gets moved here.
Okay, so by then, they're going to be even better than they are now. I think that the top couple teams here have a chance to do pretty well there. Maybe not win outright, but definitely give some good teams runs for their money.
Yeah. So far, we've seen a lot of different tank lineups here. It started out with a lot of just the IS-3 or, the AMX P100 on a urban map, and then on a small map we'd see the AMX 1390, and tanks like that. But now we're seeing a much more diverse pick. Before I talk about that any further, though, come down to our studio. Entry is free. We have all sorts of giveaways we're doing.
That's right. You can see here a ton of different giveaways. If you come at all, you get a coupon, so you definitely want to come down here. You have a good chance to win other stuff as well. Really great things to win. Type 59, Tier 8 tanks, and lots of gold to win. Lots of premium tickets. So
last week we had a special where there was beer and chicken and pizza we had down here.
It
was actually, the studio was more filled up than we had ever had it before.
Yeah, it was definitely a fire hazard. It was a lot of fun. People are really loving it.
It was so packed. We had people all the way in the lobbies. We ran out of chairs. So come down here, whether it's for World of Tanks or any of the games we have here at GOM.
Yeah.
It's a real experience. We're in Gangnam at Samsung Station out of Exit 2. We just walk for a little bit. And the
I thought we
studio
were
on
Exit
the right.
1. Are we Exit 2? I don't even know anymore because I just walked straight to it.
I believe it's Exit 2.
I think you're actually probably right. I don't know.
I think I'm
crazy.
right. Well, we'll see.
Eh.
It's down at Samsung Station, though. It's not hard to find. So definitely come and check it out.
Indeed. We'll be here, probably.
Most likely. So going into these games here today, we are almost done with the group phase. So,
I think this week decides everything. I think this is the final week of group stage, but I know that after this week, we're going to know who advances.
Yeah. And from there, it's getting closer and closer to that final match where we're going to have the two best World of Tank teams duke it out. Now, let's talk about the history here of the teams since the start of last year. We had the Draki teams, huge clan, doing very, very well. There were like 4 different Draki teams, and they've broken up into these smaller teams, which are some of the ones that we're going to have here today.
That's right.
We're going to take a closer look at here. And we've also seen, ARPS dominating as well. But here's how the group is looking so far. Now, you can see the grayed out names down here. Aegis, Dasadenan 2, and Jaguar are out.
That's right, and we are going to see Noah against Draki, I believe, today, because that is the one that really needs to be decided. On the other side, ARETE against Vipers, we already know what's going on there. These two teams are advancing. The other two have no chance, but there is a possibility for a 3-way tie in Group B.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see, how we're going to handle that if that does occur.
Yeah.
But, the teams right here, ARETE, the Vipers, Noah, then ARPS and Draki. I would say Draki, actually now, the original Draki team that we had in the finals in the Open, I would say, would you agree with me, it's probably the weakest out of the 5 teams here?
Yes, I would agree.
Left?
I think ARPS is a little bit better now.
And here's the match we're going to have here today. And this day here is going to be pivotal for how we end up into the bracketed part of the tournament.
Yeah, and I believe there's seeding as well. So ARETE versus Vipers should be quite good also, because ARETE is not going to want to hit the #1 seed, which likely will be Noah, who they faced in the finals of Season 2 and who won Season 1. So they want to dodge them until the finals, because those are really the two best teams in Korea, ARETE and Noah.
And by the way, the Vipers and Noah were former Draki sister teams here.
Yes.
So a lot of history.
You can see how good the Draki team actually was. As you were saying, it was a huge clan. It had a bunch of different teams in it, and we can see 3 of them are playing here today. They're really all still amongst the best in Korea.
So here, the Vipers, I would say the star player on that team, you got to say, is going to be Sunglove.
Yes.
Guy's got a lot of personality.
Sunglove versus Cow Thief and Pig Thief, man. It's going to be...
I want that.
It's going to be awesome.
Sunglove's got a lot of personality, but they have not been able to get into that final spot.
No, they've done very well overall. They've really been so stable and so solid in World of Tanks Korea. And I think they're always going to be around, but they haven't shown themselves to be championship quality.
Yeah, not quite there just yet. And here is a shot of our first team over here. Now, ARETE is very, very good.
Oh, God, they are really good. You're going to watch these guys.
Pig Thief are very strong players.
Just to throw out what these guys normally do, like, for instance, Christina always on the edge shooting in. Cow Thief, normally the biggest, strongest tank, oftentimes in the center. He's the captain of the team. He calls
he's
the
shot
shots.
caller.
And then Pig Thief, that guy is the puller. He's the guy that's going to play the quickest tank, and he's going to run all over the map and make things happen. He's the playmaker, if that's the right term for that.
I mean,
he's the point guard for his team.
The interesting thing about this team as well is when they're interviewed, they are very confident.
Oh, God. Cow Thief is one of the most confident, bordering on arrogant players ever.
Yeah, he's almost cocky.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like it. I think you need to have some attitude like that if you're going to be the best. You have to believe you're the best.
Indeed, you do.
Now, here are the Vipers right now.
Now, Dammy, that's Sunglove. And Sunglove is probably the most aggressive player.
He's the cosmopolitan of World of Tanks.
He's crazy, man. He normally is the first to die, but he gets the action started for his team. A very strong player, but he even says in his interviews, half jokingly, half not, that his team saves him because he gets into trouble a lot. But you know what? It's because of his unpredictability and strength as a leader that they've always come so far.
I would say as a commander, he's one of these guys who's more aggressive.
Yes, for sure.
He's not somebody who's just comfortable with turtling. Usually if we get into a situation where 2 teams are turtling, Sunglove's going to make the call and tell them to move in there. That's, by the way, Sunglove in the back to the right of our ref there.
If this was a real war, if this was maybe way back in time and he was leading an army, he'd be up at the front and he'd be a glorious leader that people really looked up to, but he'd die in that first battle and we'd never hear of him again.
He'd be like one of these Spartans from 300.
Mm-hmm.
So, here is the lineup now. Himmelsdorf, Lakeville, Abbey, Runeberg, and Cliff.
All right, so we are going to see Abbey today, but with these teams, it's not going to be a draw. There's no way. In fact, we're not going to see any draws. Because
I agree with you 100%. I don't think we're going to see a single draw here. These guys are too aggressive. They're too comfortable engaging each other. Now, I do think this is a matchup that it's possible for the Vipers to win. Normally, I'm going to go with ARETE almost always saying they can win, but with the Vipers being as aggressive as ARETE is, that's going to be a different game. Most of the other games we've seen, ARETE is actually just prying open the enemy defenses.
That is very true, but ARETE, I have a special level of respect for them. I feel like they're the strongest, and I really think that they're going to win.
If I was gun to my head, man, I would say ARETE would win.
I love gun to my head metaphors from you.
Know that they did opt to have Ensk ARETE to be eliminated, and the Vipers chose to prefer the Prokhorovka. Now, that's an interesting choice there from the Vipers. I would not have expected them to try to take that map out.
You know what? I totally see what you're saying, because Vipers are very good on this map, but ARETE looks completely godlike on this map. They never, ever, ever lose it from either position. They always crush teams on that map. They're perfect at it.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering, what is the game on Abbey going to look like?
That's a good
Abby
question.
is the map that probably makes for the least exciting games.
In Korea, at least, it's got the highest draw rate of any map for sure.
Insanely a high draw rate. It's
Yeah.
What is it, like a 40%?
God, something like that.
Something
Maybe
incredible.
a little bit less now because last week it got played in 1-on, but it's over 30% draw rate, I believe, in Korea.
Which is pretty impressive.
That's huge.
So here's a closer look, as you can see, at what tanks have been used by what players on what maps here. And this was a match against Dasadenan here for ARETE.
Yeah, and Dasadenan, not the strongest team, so there could be some different picks, but overall, this is the type of pattern that you're going to see from ARETE. Cow Thief with the heavy tank, Pig Thief with the fast tank, so on and so forth. This team really knows its roles.
Yeah, and in case you were wondering, I know that when we list the lineups here, it's bigger than what we actually have with the players here. That's because when you get a 7-man team, you're going to have some ringers. I mean, there's always a chance that someone might get sick or might not be able to, has to work or something like that. Not all these guys are full-time pros with full-time sponsorships. Mm-hmm. So these are the best they have here now. Now, here's how the Vipers did against Aegis. Aegis, by the way, a very good team. Actually, a multi-game team.
Yeah.
They've been around for, I want to say, like 8 years. Is that correct?
I've seen Aegis forever in StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
Definitely a strong clan in Korea, but not quite top 4 in Korea here.
So this is going to be a cool match. I think out of all the group days that we're going to have, this is going to be the best day. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, the games themselves are just too good.
Well, today is everything comes down to today. The seeding for Group 1 and Group 2, who advances.
We're getting very close to the tank selection here. But first, let's take a closer look at the map Himmelsdorf. It's an urban map. You know, when I first started casting World of Tanks, I was fairly certain this map would lead to a lot of draws. But these guys are very good at engaging each other, getting in there, doing the damage they need to do.
And you know what? This draw rate of 5.9%, I think it all comes from Season 1 when we just had a bunch of newbie teams that just didn't really know what they were doing that much. So
yeah, I mean, it was one of these... It was when World of Tanks was new enough out here. Players were not comfortable angling their tank right to bounce shells.
Yeah. A lot of turtling on this map back then.
Yeah, and now the games are actually high-paced and fast. Now, you want to watch for the high ground area on the right. That's where the chapel is. We do usually see a T1 from both teams sent up there occasionally, an additional tank. But if you go up that way with one of your heavier tanks, it's a while to get back down.
It is.
We also see a lot of pushing through the, I would say, the middle right lane.
Yeah. That's exactly where we see most of the action. Mm-hmm. Could see a T69 picked on this map to try to utilize that hill a bit better.
Yeah.
But not always. A lot of IS-3s, AMX 5100s here.
So with these two players here, this two teams, excuse me, this game is really going to set the tone. We don't see a lot of light tanks used on this map. We won't really ever see light tanks used. We have seen
not very much.
T69 used. We have seen the KB5 rush used on this map, although it's very rare. It's
not going to see it from these teams, I don't think.
Yeah, but most of the time it's just IS-3s and AMX 5100s, and occasionally actually the 110.
Yeah, occasionally the 110. We used to see last season, the season before, some T-32s here occasionally as well.
That's true, yeah.
Those can be pretty good if you turtle, but I think it's mostly going to be what you would expect.
It's now time for the tank selection. Both teams picking the T1s right away, telling us everything else is going to be a Tier 8 tank.
Yes, and in fact, very interesting from Dammy, going for that T1. That tells me that they're probably going to have 5 heavies. Because he normally is a fast, like, if there was a T69, I think he would have chosen it for sure.
IS-3 mirrored picks here, back to ARETE.
And
will we have the AMX 5100s? There's one. Will there be a second? Or will they go with another IS-3? No. AMX 5100s now back to the Vipers. I believe, yes, it will be a mirror pick.
All heavies here.
Now, if they either choose an IS-3 or an AMX 5100,
it will be.
It'll be an IS-3.
You can tell by what the pullers pick. What the tank lineup's going to be. Pig Thief and Dammy, or Sunglove as we call him. If they choose like T1s or heavy tanks, that's it. It's going all heavies. And that's what we see here. Yeah,
it looks like it's almost time to get this game going. It is a best of 5 here with ARETE versus the Vipers. The Vipers formerly
the Cobras.
The G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
No, I think this is going to be a great map, but I don't know who's going to win. We're going to find out soon here at GOMTV. time for game number 1 to start. 3 IS-3s on both sides and 2 AMX 5100s on both sides. We will see each of the T1s go to the right, and one to the right, one to the left side of the map here.
No doubt about it. Because Sunglove is using T1, I feel like he's... I don't know. Is he going to be aggressive in this T1, try to kill the other T1?
It's possible,
If he's not the first one to go out and attack, I'm always surprised.
Well, you know, it's funny because Sunglove is usually the first one to die. So, well, let's see what happens now. We do have a lot of tank movement over here in the north here for the Vipers. Now, looks like they're going to be entering the C3 square.
This is a bit uncommon. This looks like a rush build here from the Vipers.
Looks like they're going to have Sunglove go out farther onto the side. Sunglove will be taking the bullet here, being the first one spotted, but that will allow the rest of the tanks to come down here now.
I think they actually just spotted some of the heavies moving down the side.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Pretty sure. So that means ARETE is probably going to move into position a little bit better than they are right now. Yeah, a couple of their tanks are moving back a little bit. Vipers taking up this side on the railroad tracks.
We have Sunglove going down the 1 lane here. And if you don't, look at the formation changing here. They've actually opened up their flag now to be occupied, but they also have ARETE has their tanks positioned in such a way that they can gun anybody down that gets over there. So they may actually bait them in.
Yeah, they could indeed. You know, ARETE is one of the best teams at re-maneuvering itself to stop aggressive actions. And you can see that they have shifted flawlessly to have good surface area on the incoming angle.
Now, they've all grouped up over here at F2. They may not go out just yet. We're only at 8 minutes, 30 seconds. And now we see actually some backing up over here. Yeah, they got to be careful because the angle that Hypocrite's at, I mean, he could just get killed immediately if they opt to go down the 7 lane here.
That's true.
I mean, he will just die.
But if they try to go down that lane, the Vipers are in position to... you know, just run down the other lane. Now, Hypocrite actually took a big hit right there.
Oh, yeah, he did already.
Call him Hypocrite. He's taking a third of his health off. That actually hurts, because he's the guy that's supposed to sit there and shoot people when they come out to shoot the Vipers. But
yeah, exactly.
With him already being hit, that's a tough blow to Vipers.
Now, we do have a T1 here for ARETE up here at D0. And that could cause a base capture if it's not stopped by this other T1, who is Rolling Star.
Yes, indeed. Well, you know what? We have a T1 coming down the hill right now, so we're going to have a little T1 battle probably in the back. And, it looks like Tusu gets taken out.
Now, here's the problem for the Vipers. They don't know where all these tanks are right now. For ARETE. ARETE has been in the dark. So... this may cause the Vipers to back up a little bit, try to defend against a threat that's not really there. I mean, the T1, if it occupies the opposing base, then it's still okay. They go back and kill it, but they don't know that it's just that T1 right there.
The fact that Tusu took out the Viper T1, that's actually kind of a big deal, because now they have that whole top right corner of this map. They know exactly that there's nothing up there and there's nothing on the hill, so their backside is completely defended. As long as they keep that 7 column occupied, that's like the only other way down other than the tracks. That's reasonable. So ARETE is sealed up really well. They're really tight right now.
They're looking very good so far. Interesting because we said earlier on this is probably going to be a very aggressive series, but it started out with both players being defensively, showing a little bit more respect to the other teams. And their known play styles.
Well, right now the Vipers are getting in position. 3 of their heavies up on the front lines. See if they get anything done with this.
Being very careful here is SOD. Because he's the one that's going to have to spot for everybody here. Cowthief and Pigthief are in great position right now. Now, I'm wondering right now, what exactly are the Vipers waiting for? Are they just hoping that someone's going to peek out of a corner and they can eat a shell, or what?
That's a good question, because ARETE doesn't really make mistakes like that. They're not just going to roll out of position and let the Vipers shoot them. So the Vipers, I feel like, are going to have to make a move.
Okay, Tusu's now edging out here. Now, if Tusu tries to take the flag out, Tusu will be taken out.
Yeah, there's 100%. A heavy sitting right there. It's going to be very simple to kill Tusu. But if Tusu can spot, for instance, that there's a heavy back there.
It looks like they're going to move up. They're going up 7 lane.
Oh.
They're not going to let Tusu take a load. Pig Thief and SOD are going to go now.
Well, you know what? If they take that flag.
Team crash.
Oh, my God.
If with the 2 T1s, they can get a 3-tank occupation there.
Yeah, and that takes the flag so quickly.
Hypocrite, look out! A whiff shot there. Pig Thief missing, now backing up. Hypocrite with his pointed right now where Pig Thief is. But the 2 T1s have now gotten around. I believe we're going to have a base capture here. Sunglove is in. Oh, Sunglove firing now on Jusu.
Sunglove holding this flag area very
turn
well.
Turn around.
Now with Sod coming out, they should be able to take out Sunglove when he peeks out again. But they can always send a heavy back.
Oh! Sod is at 103 HP. He needs to back up now.
Yeah. Sunglove, like, poking his head out again is not a smart move. Unless he's doing it to lure them so his own tanks can shoot them. Because his health is so low, he will die.
Pig Thief still up here against Hypocrite. Drum has opted to come around the corner. Or was, excuse me. Now he's backed up again. We saw Sunglove taking some more damage here.
Well, right now, ARETE moving their tanks over towards those train tracks, seeing if they can catch an angle on Vipers here. Maybe they're out of position, looking at where Pig Thief is.
And it looks like the game's actually starting to turn around here with ARETE slowly coming out of the corner. We did see a shot fired there. Christina now taking damage and backing up.
Looks like it did do some damage at least. The Vipers all in a line at the moment. ARETE hitting from 2 different angles.
Nice shots fired there. Christina and Cow Thief teaming up right now. Most of the Vipers are in the 3 lane here, so that's going to be tough for Christina and Cow Thief to actually get around. Pig Thief still just forcing Hypocrite to be stuck behind this rubble here. Now, Hypocrite cannot take any more shells. Whoa, hold that thought, though. Nano now taking some damage. He needs to just barely get that tank around that corner. If he gets hit in the tread, even it could kill him.
Yeah, Nano has to be very careful. The Viper's actually starting to take a hit point lead here. Cow Thief is even taking some damage as well. And some more damage also. This is actually starting to look pretty good for the Vipers, I would say. Even though it feels like if you look at the mini-map, like ARETE should be the ones that are winning right now.
Nano needs backup badly here. Okay, a missed shot there.
Yeah, Nano needs some bots to heal him up, Tasteless. He's really low on health right now.
And Nano goes down. That will give the Vipers the 8-point tank lead they need to win. There's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Well, ARETE is not out quite yet. They definitely have a shot to come in here and kill something else. Now Drum coming around the corner, see if he has a shot. He doesn't. Cow Thief moving around the corner right before.
And it looks like now Drum is going to come up here.
Yeah, he's going to come from behind.
Oh, we have a base capture, though. We have a base capture occurring. Cow Thief taking fire. Drum backing up.
And Cow Thief gonna move his tank out of there a little bit.
Sunglove is going to need to go in there and take out that other T1.
I don't think he can, Tasteless. He's only got 23 health left.
Now, here's the other thing, too, is that there's a minute 50 left in the game, but a minute and, about 15 seconds if that tank is not taken out. So if they push that tank off, they can't get a base capture for the rest of this game.
Yeah, unless they bring a bunch of tanks up.
Yeah, which I don't think is going to happen.
No, I would be very surprised. But there's no big rush because it lines up with the end of the game pretty well. So they have a lot of time before they have to go up and remove it.
All right, 60 seconds now before this base is captured. So far, the Vipers have been very static. Sunglove here with 8 HP. He could literally roll down a hill wrong and actually die.
Yeah, he has to be very careful. If he stubs his little tank toe, he's going to blow up.
Yeah. Now we have Drum coming around here. Now you got to think ARETE knows the inevitable is going to happen. They will send a heavy back there to pick off that one T1. Another shot fired there. That could even this out. We could end up with a draw here, Artosis.
Hey, we certainly could. We're down to just a minute left. Can he take out Sekazi?
Sekazi's going to get away.
Oh, sniped there by Cow Thief. A really strong kill. A very important kill as well, tying up the score.
SOD pushing that T1 off. Drum pushing SOD up, excuse me.
Cow Thief should hide now, and Louise, he smells blood in the water.
Oh, wait, he's got cover, though. Okay, but he's taken out. But will this be a trade here? Togi now firing here. There's only 30 seconds remaining.
Well, they need to get this kill, so Togi is starting to come around, but Louise, he's sitting there, he's waiting for it. Pops out, and Christina's down there as well. Louise has to be careful. 17 seconds left. ARETE needs to make a move or they're going to lose.
Togi coming out now. It's evened up again. Are there going to be any more kills right now? 8 seconds now. Going down to 5. I believe we're going to have a draw here.
Wow.
Exactly what we didn't expect to happen.
Exactly the opposite of what we expected to happen, Taste. Is kind of crazy there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wild, wild.
Talk about getting down to the last second there.
Yeah.
You know, had what was Calfeep that was last one picked off, right?
Yeah, Calfeep got picked off. He tried to hide there, but Togi came around, offered some support, and Luis, he overcommitted to killing Calfeep. But I like that the Vipers tried.
Well, this means we will have a rematch now on that map. Now, in case you're wondering, how do we...
So angry.
So angry.
So mad.
You can feel the rage. In case you're wondering, like, what happens if we get another draw and another draw? Well, we cap it, and then we take
eventually, if we have enough draws, it'll be a tier difference through the whole match.
But we probably won't have that.
No, that's not going to happen. This was a weird game, but this is how it went down.
I can't believe we had a draw.
Well, you know what? The Vipers,
with those two players on that map.
I know, right? It's
everything
weird.
we predicted so far is wrong in this case.
Completely.
We said it was going to be action-packed games. That was actually a very defensive game for both teams. We said there's no way it's going to be a draw. But maybe this is because you get two teams that are known for being so aggressive, and then they're thinking, well, what do we do? If we're both being aggressive at the same time, I mean, it could be a situation where they all rush to the train yard, the other guys are rushing by the chapel, and they miss each other, and then you're going to have to improvise for how to handle that.
Kind of a wild game. I liked how the Vipers took the aggressive stance and then just sat there for a little bit. You know, picking up that first Tier 8 kill, that's what really propelled the Vipers being able to tie here, because I felt like after that first Tier 8 kill, ARETE started to outplay them.
You know, I got to say, I think the Vipers would have won that if they had just managed to keep that. Remember the last? Was the IS-3 that was killed at the last?
Yeah, Luis.
I think that Luis overextended there.
He did, but he wanted that kill. And the thing is, with such a small clock, maybe he thought, you know what, I can kill him, hide in there, and they're probably not going to kill me. But the thing is, ARETE just too clutch.
It became a draw in the last 10 seconds there. We had that kill.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a different tank pick? Is it going to be 3 IS-3s and 2 AMX 5100s? Or are they going to do something totally different?
Well, you know, on a city map like Himmelsdorf, it's smart to go for a lot of heavies. The T-69s and whatnot are not going to help you as much.
I want the KV-5 rush.
That's what I want
that KV-5 rush.
I think these two teams, you know, they're both advancing already. They should just shake hands and go 5 KV-5s on every map.
Well, there's always a chance we'll have 3 AMX 5100s instead of the 2. We could have some kind of rotation like that. Didn't we cast a game where there were 4 IS-3s once on this map as well?
I think we did, yeah. We've seen a lot of different tank choices over the time in Himmelsdorf, a lot of games on this map.
It was interesting to see how frustrated. What was it? The Vipers?
Yeah. They were really upset.
Wow.
Well, they knew that they could have had it, but it wasn't to be.
It's time for the tank selection now.
Same exact tanks.
Yeah, we should end up with the same pick here. This is the most safe, by-the-book pick you can have, really.
Yeah. Not surprised at all that both teams are going to go for it once again. Let's just see triple IS-3 on both sides. There we go. One and
probably the other.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hypocrite was an IS-3 last game as well.
Hypocrite actually the first tank to be hit in that last game. And there it is, the IS-3.
Okay, exact same tank lineup. We'll see if we have a winner instead of a draw.
All right, we're going at it again here. Game number 2, still on map number 1, Himmelsdorf. I'm Tasteless, with me is Artosis, and we are in the number 1 place for esports here, Seoul, Korea, at GOMTV. And it looks like now we are ready now to go to that rematch here on Himmelsdorf with the Vipers against ARETE. Will this game be different?
I think so. I could not imagine them hitting another draw here. That is just something I don't think is likely with these two teams. I think we were right to predict that it would be a furious game, but
fast and furious game.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's watch the tank formations right now.
Are they going to do the same thing? It looks like it.
Now, in this case, we only have the Vipers on the map right now.
Yeah, Hypocrite taking a shot there and missing. We're only watching right now the Vipers' view. They've only spotted one tank thus far.
And are now coming around this corner here, and this is via the Vipers' vision right now, so we can see what they've spotted on the mini-map. Looks like they do see that one T1 down there.
Yep, Sod sitting in his normal place. Not Sod, the T1, not to be confused with the enemy of Batman, of Superman.
Who's the enemy of Superman? Is it Lex Luthor?
Well, that's one of them, but Zod. General Zod from Krypton.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about him. Yeah. Now, they are right on the edge here of possibly barreling into ARETE's base.
Yeah, ARETE kind of playing very similarly this time. And here's an interesting thing. No T1 for the chapel area. Up on the hill. And yeah, Vipers taking the same exact spot. Very similar spots for ARETE as well. So the game's starting out the same.
It's interesting to see. Yeah, it absolutely could, Artosis.
Well, Sod has already been killed, so that's actually ARETE's off to a worse start. That was a quicker loss of Sod this game.
Okay, so we have that ARETE T1 coming down here. Now, this is actually becoming very similar to the last game. Let's see how this T1 engagement occurs here in the upper right side of the map, because that was really when things started to change. Now, he's got to be careful not to run over those.
Yeah.
Because that's actually a giveaway right there. If you see power lines dropping, then you know there's something back there.
Yeah, for sure. That is
one thing I think the Korean players do a bit too much. I've seen them kind of
they knock over more trees than you would think.
Yeah, considering that's you don't always see the tank all the way across the map, but when you see that, you will see a tree fall, no matter what. That's not something where you have to get vision and radio that in. That's an animation. Okay, so Tusu's going to turn around so that the backside of his tank is showing, so his turret might be more effective. And here comes Rolling Star!
Oh, all right. Both players know each other there. Going to be a little shootout. Tusu poking out, and nice shots there.
You know, it was funny because they were both spraying each other, but there was one missed bullet there by Rolling Star.
Yeah, and, you know, Tusu actually had more cover. There was no cover for Rolling Star at all.
Yeah.
So he was taken out, and now we've had both teams lose one T1. Now the Viper's actually pushing up a little bit further this time, a little bit quicker. Is that Pig Thief that's rolling down? Yep, there he is.
Yes, it is.
Always the guy that's trying to get this going.
Now, we are going to have... Was it Pig Thief versus Hypocrite?
Yes.
Last time? Okay, so this game's actually becoming very similar to the last game.
Very similar.
Okay, but an early base capture, and that makes a big difference. Last time, the base capture occurred just under 2 minutes. This time, it's at the 6-minute, 40-second marker.
And, all right, sees Togi. Does Seikazi.
Togi,
can't quite hit each other.
You got to be careful with this. These are the two heavies. The heavies don't reload as quickly. So you're going to end up in some trouble. It's now 1 minute and 10 seconds left here. Drum coming around now.
Yeah, it looks like they've just sent Drum back. They're going to have to just sit tight for a moment while Drum goes to clear the flag. I'm sure he'll just pop around and shoot him in a moment. Togi backing up. Looks like Seikazi and Togi have been trying to hit each other. To no avail.
We already had another T1 kill at the bottom left.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's true. Looks like Sunglove has died.
Okay, they've forced him to turn around. That T1 needs to book it, man. There's so many tanks. He went for him. Tusu's going to be in trouble. Tusu now backing up, giving up the base capture.
Okay, and in the meantime, ARETE is pushing forward because 3 heavies went back to deal with 1 T1, which is kind of weird.
Well, they had no way of knowing for sure that was the T1.
I suppose that is true. Seikazi taking a lot of damage. ARETE coming up, getting that tier 8 kill. And I gotta say, Tasteless, I'm not impressed with the fact they sent 3 heavies back.
And they're completely out of position now.
Yeah, they're completely out of position.
Look at
They've lost the tier 8.
Rotating around right now. It doesn't even seem like he knows where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And look at the movement here on the mini-map for ARETE. They are constantly regrouping and reorganizing. Yeah. I think that's what makes them so scary, is they're able to continue to change formations around the map.
They're like synchronized swimmers that learned how to drive tanks.
It's
crazy.
Oh,
they all put their barrels in the air and they move. They move in tandem.
So we got Pig Thief coming around the corner now. And here comes Hypocrite backing up. Now you got to be careful because the top part of Hypocrite's tank is showing, but that's an easy spot to bounce shells off of.
Right now, Drum and Louise coming down. They're going to need to get a kill pretty soon here.
All right, we have the base capture occurring again to get those tanks in a position. Hypocrite up against Pig Thief here. Pig Thief drawing first blood in that engagement.
Well, Pig Thief taking some damage indeed. With that one T1 back there, I wonder if maybe this time Vipers will send 4 tanks. Because if they do, ARETE is going to get them, Tasteless.
And when I look at the formation here, I got to say, again, ARETE seems to be the favorite here. As long as they get the shots off they need, it should be okay. We have that IS-3 gone here for the Vipers, so really it's up to the Vipers to now engage ARETE. By the way, that base capture is now in a minute here.
Whoa, look at this strat right through the center. They're going after Cow Thief. This is actually a really nice move because Rattle is keeping Cow Thief back. Now here they come for the flank. Really nice move. Cow Thief moving forward but getting shot in the butt.
Yeah, Cow Thief taking heat right now. By the way, but it looks like Christina's going to come around here now, and that's going to put the turrets in a bad spot here. We have Louise and Drum here getting shot at from 2 sides, but Cow Thief, is Cow Thief dead?
Cow Thief has been murdered, but you know what? These other tanks coming from the other side. Here comes Nano
but this
from
might
behind.
just end in a base capture here for ARETE. There's 25 seconds left here.
Well, all the tanks are fighting in the center right now.
Well, this is just the most awkward tank fight you've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is going to end in a base capture. It doesn't even matter who's killing who off here. Actually, they're winning the
yeah, 10 seconds left. Someone's going up right now. Will he get there in time? 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, and 1.
Wow.
GG.
I am so surprised that ended like that with all the fighting going on. But you know what? Great play again from ARETE.
That was really nicely done. I mean, they won in every possible way right at the end there.
Yes, indeed. They killed the tanks and got the base capture. So great play.
It's their ability to just maneuver around the map that makes them so scary.
Yeah, it's wild. It's as if there are 7 players or 1, and
you know what it's like? You know when the Power Rangers all get together and the one guy's the leg and the other guy's the other leg?
I'd love to see the tanks just fly together through the air.
The Tasteless Power Ranger is clearly the head.
Yes.
Artosis is the left arm, the one that the robot can't write with.
Yeah, but you know what? The left arm is important because it blocks when the monster's jaws come.
That's true. No, you need the left arm.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, punch in some of these codes.
Yeah, those are coupons.
Is it coupons or is it coupons?
It just matters what.
And it matters where you're from, right?
Yeah. For me, it's coupons.
Coupons is I'm from.
When I hear people say coupon, I just want to throw them off a building like a
Now here's the
diehard.
question: when you're going to get, well, what do you call it? Do you call it a soda? Do you call it
soda?
A pop, or do you call it a Coke? Because sometimes
a Coke is okay as well, but soda is what I call it.
Soda, yeah.
You have to be from somewhere very rural to call it a pop. Very rural.
I grew up in Kansas City, and they called it a lot of people call it a Coke. I'm gonna get a Coke.
Yeah.
But then it's not a Coke. They're drinking like
but it
else.
could be anything.
Yeah. They did a test. There's a thing on the New York Times has. I should send it to you, where you can actually they ask you 40 questions. About how do you pronounce this word? What do you say?
Yeah.
And it will actually break down exactly where you were from.
Oh, send me that.
It's
I'd
really
love to
cool.
see that.
Yeah.
I bet you it's accurate too because.
No, you know what's crazy? Because I spent most of my time in Kansas City and then in Denver. And those are like the 2 highlighted areas. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Pretty crazy
That's
stuff.
wild. I wonder if they can nail New Hampshire. Like New Hampshire and Seoul, and I'm like,
here's a question. Do you call it a highway or a freeway or what do you?
Both.
Okay.
They were interesting.
Okay, they had like 8 different ones you could call it. I'd never heard of before. I was wondering if maybe this is just something from my neck of the woods. Anyway,
I really want to see that. That's really interesting.
Cool. So we have 2
Do you call him Sunglove or Dammy? I'm like, well, I call him Sunglove. They're like, okay, you speak English then.
You're clearly an English caster.
Yes.
You're
either Tasteless or Artosis. I'm like, whoa.
It's a pretty good test. We have had 2 games so far. One was a draw. The other one was a very convincing win by ARETE with a base capture. But even if they had denied the base capture, I think they probably would have won.
It looked like they were pulling ahead in that regard, but it was crazy. It was all over the place. It was That one T1 being back there was so strong. You know what? That T1 really won them the game because Vipers went so out of position with 3 heavies to deal with one T1.
And think about this. Rolling Star was in the upper right of the side of the map, killed both times. Had, let's say, Rolling Star killed off, was it Tusu? It was Tusu, right?
Yes, it was Tusu.
If it had Rolling Star killed off Tusu, it would have been a completely different game.
You know, they got to be careful about not sending back too many tanks.
Now, this is the map that I never won a game on in my life.
Yeah.
At least when I played with you,
You and I normally die in that 1-2 lane.
Yep.
That's right in the center, right around F.
Now, we haven't had the opportunity to cast many games on this.
We've only had this twice here, and in fact, I remember specifically ARETE was the top spot, and they won. The opposing team, I can't quite recall who it was, came up, stole the flag, and then they just moved back into position perfectly to knock the tanks off the flag. It was really a beautiful game on this map. I think it was the week that you were gone. I was casting.
Yeah, I was going to say I have no recollection of that game.
Yeah, it was actually so well done. Like Pig Thief was the sickest.
Well, the games are just getting better and better here, which is really exciting. So, we are about to get this game started here. This is a map where you can, for instance, have an AMX 1390 or a T69. The IS-3s and the AMX 5100s are really used on these urban maps, on these maps where it's so mountainous and narrow, like narrow valleys, where you're in a city where the buildings are not destructible.
Yeah.
So you have to go around these narrow corners. That's when you want the heavies. But on a map that has open areas like the right side of this map over here where the town is, mobility is your best friend.
We will definitely see some light tanks here. No question. There's going to be some AX 1390s, probably some T69s as well.
I'm not even going to make any predictions here on what they're going to pick because I am not comfortable with this map.
Okay.
I'm so bad on this map. I don't understand this map.
I would say 100% Pig Thief is going to be an AMX 1390. Cow Thief, I believe, is going to be a heavy, but we'll see on that one.
All right. ARETE, it's time for them to pick. Now, you know they probably had some plans already before they came in here today about which tanks they're going to go with, but there's always a possibility that they're seeing how their opponents are playing, and they might want to mix it up a little bit. AMX 1390 double-picked here for ARETE now. The ball is in Viper's court.
Yeah, they chose a couple AMX 1390s as well. Not surprised at all. This map is going to be a lot more fun, a lot more exciting than Himmelsdorf was, because you see Pig Thief and Sunglove both having these fast tanks that they can pull with, and these are two of the most entertaining players to watch, really.
Yeah, really is. So there's a heavy tank here. Now we have 2 other heavy tanks here. I'm a little bit confused about the order this is being picked in. Okay, so, all right, T69. Let's see if ARETE matches that with their own T69. That would give us 2 lights, 2 heavies, and a medium, and it does.
Calthief actually taking the medium instead of one of these heavies, which is fine. A lot of times he does have the heaviest tank. This time opting for that T69. He's going to fill in a little bit for everyone.
Well, it looks like we are about ready here for map number 2, game number 3 here, as game number 1 did result in a draw, causing a rematch there on Himmelsdorf, which ARETE has won. Can the Vipers begin to turn this around, or is ARETE going to continue to dominate?